When you are reinventing yourself, how far do you have to go to pare yourself down? Do you have to go this far? I'm going to talk about that in this video. How's it going, Reinventors? I'm Amelia. This is Reinventing You, the channel where you can be inspired to reinvent yourself or to continue your reinventing journey. Now, this video is all about how much you have to pare down to start over. And I'm in the middle of construction zone and a home where my husband and I will eventually retire, actually in a couple of months. So I just wanted to take a moment to show you and give you a sneak peek at the construction and talk about how much you need to pare down when you're reinventing yourself. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I invite you to do so now. Don't forget to like this video. About a year ago, I did a series of videos talking about how to begin reinventing, some of the things you're going to happen when you try to reinvent yourself, or some of the challenges you might have. And when I did this series, I was doing it from our lake house. At the time, this is the place where we got away for maybe an extended couple of days, and eventually we knew we would be retiring there. But in this video, you're going to see the scenes of the, I guess, before and during the construction. And I'm not going to explain everything that's going on in our house. I'll just let you discover all of that on your own through the visuals. And I will have a full, updated, completed video, hopefully in June or July of this year. In the meantime, I wanted to use this occasion where we're looking at the before and the during of our house remodel of what can happen when you decide to reinvent yourself. You decide that you want to make some major changes in your life. But what you don't know is how far you have to go to pare down in order to make those changes. One of the things that we discovered when we were renovating the lake house was that we just imagined we were taking down the paneling and putting up drywall. We were putting in new carpet, painting, redoing some items in the kitchen. But what we didn't realize is how much we were paring down to the basic bones of the house. And the more you pare down, the more things you realize need to be repaired or changed or improved in some fashion. So the first lesson that I think you would think about when you are going to reinvent yourself, am I going to have to go down to the basics? How bare do I have to get to reinvent myself? But is to plan on making a change, but you may not realize what really needs to be stripped away. Just like we were very surprised when we finally went to the house and realized what had actually been stripped down to the bare bones. You actually can see it in some of these scenes, and this is just the beginning of the stripping down, so that you don't realize what all needs to happen. Maybe you say, I need to lose weight, and that's my way of reinventing myself. Well, that's fine, but it's not just a matter of adding exercise and making sure you eat better. Perhaps you have to clean out your cabinets and get rid of the junk food. Perhaps you have to change the way you socialize with other people. Perhaps you have to change the way you have celebrations in your immediate family. All of these things may go so that your losing weight is not just a matter of a few months, but it's a lifestyle change. And you have to make all of those things, take all of those things in consideration when you reinvent yourself. And the second thing that I would have to say about, do I have to get down to the bare basics when I reinvent myself, is that it isn't until you do some house cleaning that you realize how much baggage you're really carrying around. And this happened when we emptied our lake house. I'm sure you saw the attic, our mobile attic, with a lot of, actually I think it's a pod. I don't know what it is we have. But anyway, it's full of furniture. We actually filled it full of more furniture, and we have a friend's house where we're storing like the things like records and really nice pieces that we don't want to get damaged in any way, so that until you start removing all of that stuff, you don't realize how much stuff you have. And oh my gosh, we got rid of so much stuff. And here you can see just the stuff that the contractor got out of the house, not furniture. So until you start paring down, you really don't realize how much baggage you may be carrying around when you make some major changes in your life. And it could be things like your eating habits or the way you eat or how you handle your emotions through eating. All of those things, and that's just a dieting example for you, that you have to consider when you're reinventing yourself. The third thing, when you need to think about whether or not you're going to have to strip down to the basics in order to reinvent yourself, is that only by stripping away all that you can will you realize, will you, only, I'm going to start over with that. Only by stripping away all you can will you find things that need to be repaired slash corrected slash improved. Now, when we first decided to do this, we did not do anything in the bedroom. Now, this is the master bathroom. We decided not to do anything in the master bedroom, but eventually we did decide to do some major changes in the master bedroom. And one of the reasons was insulation. There was no insulation in the house. We actually discovered there was some above the bedroom. We didn't think there was, but we had to pare everything down to find that out. Another thing that happened when they came in and took down everything and the electrician came in, they said we were lucky we had not had a fire because of all of the poorly wired house that we had. So we were very fortunate. You can see here where we eventually cleaned out our bedroom. And we were just surprised. Another thing that happened, and you're going to see it in just a little bit, is that we realized there was some cracks in the walls. We could see it from outside, but it wasn't until they actually got down to here to the basement and took down the bricks, and you'll see those in just a second, where they realized that there was a major problem. They actually had to physically put 6 major anchors into the hillside where our house is. You can't see it because it's covered with all the brick and the paneling and all of our junk. But there is major damage behind those walls. When you reinvent yourself, when you start, trying to lose weight and I'm going back to that example, you start trying to lose weight, you realize that your attitude toward eating has been affected by the way you were brought up, or maybe some tragedy or bad thing or even challenge, maybe a good thing that happened in your life has affected how you eat, how you think about food, how you think about preparing food, shopping for food, eating out. All of those things can impact how you eat and your weight or weight gain. Exercise is another one. How you feel about exercise. What are you things that you do to exercise? What gets you going in exercise? You don't realize until you start really examining everything and paring down to the basics of what you need to change and what has been holding you back from being at a good healthy weight for you and for your body type. The fourth thing is when you ask the question, when I'm going to reinvent myself, do I need to go down to the basics? Do I need to go down to the studs? Is taking it down to the studs will take a lot longer than you think. Oh my gosh. Talking about not knowing what their problems till you've taken away some things like the brick here, is that if you are, paring down and you realize the major things that have to be corrected or improved on, it's going to mean things are going to take longer. I mean, it has taken us a lot longer. I mean, I know people told us, it'll be really fast at first, then it'll slow down, and then it'll be really fast again. Well, we're still in that time where it just seems really slow, and every time we go back, nothing much has happened, and it's been really nice weather, and they haven't done anything. What's going on? Well, there's like a ton of different reasons why those things aren't happening. But when you reinvent yourself, it's going to take a lot longer than you think. And if you're making a serious change in the way you are eating, oh, you can see those anchors into the wall. if you're making a serious change in the way you're eating and trying to do healthier habits and you're truly serious about losing weight, it is going to take a lot longer than you think. Now, you maybe like the house, you may quickly lose a few pounds and then you're going to plateau, and you have to keep at it from there. Reinventing yourself is never going to be a quick fix. And the fifth thing that you need to ask yourself is, do I need to pare down to the bare bones and reinvent myself is, or I guess not ask yourself, but realize is that your life will look very different from what you're used to, but it will be worth it. I said, it will be worth it once you've made these major changes. Even going back and looking at this video and seeing the house before and then knowing what it looks like now and all the construction that has happened, I actually am able to see what changes have taken place. Now, it looks like, oh gosh, it's still basic. There's not much that has happened. But when I look back, I realize all the stuff that has happened. You know, taking out this wall that you're not seeing there now. In a minute, you're going to see the new windows that are in. Looking at, you know, where they put in the new electricity. You can see in the final video the insulation. You've seen the air work. I mean, all of these things are things that when I look back at the video, then I can see the major changes that have taken place. I mean, I just realized the stairs. We've gotten now used to that the stairs in a different place. And before, you know, we were just used to the same old thing. So when you're reinventing yourself, and going back to the example of losing weight, you might think, oh my gosh, it's taken me forever to lose these 20 pounds. But then you look back and you might see pictures, or you might talk to somebody who hasn't seen you in a while and they say, hey, you're looking great. And you think, oh, well, I haven't lost all my weight, or I don't look that good. But they're going to look at you differently. They're going to see you from the outside and they're going to say, hey, you have made major changes. And sometimes it's good to just stop and say, hey, I'm not where I'm going to be yet, but I'm getting there. I have still made some great strides. There are still some major things that I have changed in my life. I'm on my way to reinventing myself. I'm not there yet, but I'm going to keep going because it is worth it. And I am going to be so pleased with the end product. And it's just like our house. I mean, you know, looking back, even looking at these pictures while I'm recording, I realize how different it looks even today. And I'm just like, okay, I've got to keep these things in mind when I think, oh, we will never get there. We'll never get this house finished and remodeled in time for us to move in. But I know it will happen, and I know it'll be fantastic, and I can't wait to show you.
So what do you
in a few
think?
months.
Do you think you need to pare down to the studs to reinvent yourself? I want to know in the comments below what you think, and also let me know what you think about the progress happening in our home. I'm Amelia. This is Reinventing You. Have a great one.